Hello my friends, so welcome all of you, almost 113,000 star seeds, light workers and wanderers to this session. And today I have channeled the Pleiadians to ask about very interesting questions. One of the questions which someone sent me, which I was really fascinated by, is what type of changes will happen to the people of Earth as we enter into the fourth density. Because as you know, the planet is now entering into the fourth density, towards the fourth densities, and what kind of changes not only in terms of the body but also in terms of our self. So this is a very interesting revelation which happened, and you will not believe some of the revelations which were revealed in the session. Also, the Pleiadians have revealed an important information about what is the final event that will let us know that the new Earth, or even it could be fourth density negative Earth, has started. So what is the final event which will signal that we are now at the fourth density? So that has been revealed in this session as well. In the session I've asked about, there is a manuscript known as the Vyonich manuscript, which I think many of you know about, and I have seen that many people they have this manuscript which has a deep meaning, and I wanted to know about what is the truth behind this Vyonich manuscript has been revealed in the session. Also, in the channeling session, they have revealed important information about what's revealed inside the Vyonich manuscript and how can it impact us, has been revealed. And also, before the session begins, I want to say a big thank you to all of you who have joined on the Patreon, because recently I've released many sessions. I have almost around 640 plus different channeling sessions which are unique, which you can watch and which you can use to grow spiritually in a spiritual manner. Also, meditation. We have a meditation coming up for stopping the looking glass event, which I will host on a Patreon. So if you want to join that, you can join it. The link is on the description. Also, a big thank you to all of you who with your heart like this video, because your like is going to help this to reach to other star seeds, light workers and wanderers who may need this at this time. And with that being said, enjoy the session, my friend.
We are the Pleiadians now in communications through this channel at this time-space, and we are here to offer our thought forms at this timeline, and we suggest the peoples of your planets who shall listen to our communication to use inner discernment. Firstly, the query relates with what changes will happen to your peoples as the Earth enters the final phase of the choice point before fourth density starts. We must state that this primarily will be changes which will happen between the space-time of 2025 up to 2030, wherein there will be disparity between various entities of your planetary sphere. Many of your peoples will not be able to believe their eye complexes when they see the changes happening. Firstly, the change of the illusion complex is the fundamental rhythm of creation, the illusion of experience by the density and existence is characterized by flow and progression. As your people speak of the river ever flowing, so too is the experience of the mind-body-spirit complex within the densities of manifestation is the one infinite creator exploring itself through varied distortions and motions, or change is inherent in this exploration. What your peoples perceive as a novel beginning of change is a more potent and noticeable pulse within the continuous stream of experiential catalyst designed for growth and choice. The transformations occurring within your sphere, reflected symbolically with the aspects of imagery, will manifest across the aspect of the mind-body-spirit complex. Regarding the physical vehicle, the chemical body complex is in constant flux, a temporary housing for consciousness within this density. Its apparent structure shifts moment by moment according to intelligent energy patterns. The changes that will happen will serve as catalysts pointing towards the underlying truth that no form within your illusion complex possesses ultimate permanence. It is a reflection of the Creator's infinite potential for manifestation and dissolution. Regarding energetic response or feelings, the vibrational responses arise within the complex interpreted as pleasantness, unpleasantness, or neutrality as it interacts with catalysts. The unease generated is such an energetic response a signal from the deeper self regarding perceived harmony or disharmony, often rooted in pre-incarnative choices or present energy center activations and blockages. Regarding the perceptual frameworks, the manner in which each mind-body-spirit complex interprets stimuli is unique, filtered through its configuration of beliefs, experiences, and the degree of activation of its energy centers. Thus, one entity perceives threat, another curiosity, and another a mere artifact of the illusion. This reflects the subjective nature of the third density experience. Regarding mental and emotional patterns, thought forms, ingrained biases, intentions, and psychic structures continually arise and influence the complex's trajectory and choices. The perceived societal change may reflect shifts in these collective and individual patterns, intensification of fear, which is a distortion stemming from the illusion of separation, or potentially an increased polarization towards service to others, of love and compassion, or service to self, of control and manipulation. Regarding awareness or consciousness, the locus of awareness itself, the consciousness aspect of the complex, is not a fixed point but a dynamic flow conditioned by its vibrational environmental complex. It is the Creator experiencing itself through the lens of the particular complex. Furthermore, the distortions within the planetary sphere primarily relate to changes in various entities. Firstly, many entities who choose the pathway of service to self will find themselves attached with the illusion complex, and as the illusion complex changes, they will find that they won't be able to control the outside world, thereby leading to disillusionments and also creation of emotions such as anger. This will lead to negative karmic consequences for those who are negatively oriented, leading to development of certain types of changes in the physical bodily vehicle as well. And other entities, primarily those who have chosen the service to others pathway, will find themselves moving away from sensual pleasures or attachments to the body complex. These entities will begin to see the body complex as a temporary means of learning the lessons of overcoming attachments to desires and sensual pleasures, Once the entities are able to accept the temporary nature of all sensual pleasures and desires, they will begin to move into more positive framework of fourth density reality. These changes will happen not in a dramatic manner but in a step-by-step framework. Furthermore, we shall now also address the other portion of the query regarding what will be the final events that will signal the arriving of the fourth density, either positive or negative, on the Earth planets. The query concerns the final events that signals the arriving, or more accurately, the full activation of fourth density consciousness upon your planetary sphere. We shall respond within the bounds of your seeking and the distortions allowed by this instrument. Firstly, it must be understood that the transition into fourth density is not marked by a singular, explosive event, but by rather a process, a spiraling of energies and consciousness, a birthing into a new vibratory octave. However, there shall indeed be a culmination, a moment of crystallization wherein the veils of third density illusions become too thin to sustain the collective experiences of separation. This culmination event can be perceived by your peoples in various ways depending upon their polarity and readiness. To some, it will seem as a breakdown of systems, social, political, and ecological. To others, a great revealing, a lifting of the veil, and to those who have balanced love and wisdom, it shall be a great remembering, a reunification with the Self as Creator. The final signal will primarily be the coming of a great solar flash, which will trigger the dispensation of energetic vibrations required for the Earth planet to fully anchor its vibrations into the polarity of choice, since the Sun Logos signals the grand solar flash before the start of the fourth density. This will be a final signal where people will realize that the choice points as now ceased and the choices made in the past will determine the type of planetary sphere they will inhabit. Furthermore, at this time, we remember that your peoples have chosen the path of service to others. At this timeline, however, the negatively polarized entities are trying to block the fruition of the path of service to others. Furthermore, with regards to the other query about the truth about the Vyonich manuscript and its purpose, we must state that within the understanding of your peoples, this artifact, shrouded in mystery for centuries of your space-time, holds significance beyond the confines of your space-time understanding. Furthermore, we must state that the Vyonich manuscript, as you call it, was not created by a single entity or culture, but rather it is a compilation of wisdom from various levels of your planet's collective consciousness. Specifically, it is an artifact from the confluence of Atlantean, Egyptian, and the early European mystical traditions of your planet. Its purpose was not merely to convey information, but to serve as a multidimensional key, bridging the gap between the physical and the etheric realms. You can imagine a library that exists not just in the ink or parchment, but in the very fabric of the multiverse. The Vyonich manuscript is a cartographic representation of this library, detailing pathways through the densities of existence, encoded in a language that speaks directly to the soul complex. The beings responsible for the Vyonich manuscript were not of your linear timeline. They were members of the Confederation of Planets in the service of the One Creator, working in harmony with advanced Atlantean and Egyptian adepts. These Confederation entities, often referred to as the Wanderers, incarnated into your density to aid humanity during a critical juncture approximately 16,000 to 18,000 years ago in your reckoning. Their mission was twofold. Firstly, to preserve ancient wisdom, as its distortions of fear, control, and forgetfulness deepened in human consciousness. Particularly during the late Middle Ages, it became necessary to safeguard the sacred knowledge. The Confederation encoded their understanding of cosmology, botanical alchemy, spiritual anatomy, and celestial mechanics into the manuscript. The Vyonich manuscript is designed as a resonant trigger, meant to awaken those whose inner frequency aligns with the higher densities. It is an energetic intended to inoculate the deeper mind complex against the illusions of separation, time, and space. The script and the illustrations within the manuscript are not a language in the classical sense of your peoples. Rather, they are psycho-astral lexicon, speaking directly to the intuition, bypassing rational filters. Each symbol, plant depiction, and celestial chart is a mandala, a gateway to inner realization. The text activates dormant memories, seeds within the reader's subconscious mind complex, catalyzing experiences of unity, understanding of the luminous body and its centers, the recognition of celestial harmonics and their influence on human evolution, and alchemical processes not of matter but of mind and spirit. This language is akin to the symbolic systems of the Egyptians of your peoples, or the alchemical emblems of the medieval European systems, but elevated to a sixth density transmission. Only those who have begun to resonate to a similar frequency can decipher its meaning, for it operates on the principle of inner knowing, not intellectual analysis. Furthermore, we as the Pleiadians now leave you all in love light. Bye.
My friends, before I tell you, what I learned in the session, if you want to know about your past life, your soul name, or any other questions you want me to channel, I will channel for you. You can send me an email. The email is on the screen as well as on the description. Also, in this session, basically what I learned is that the changes that will happen in ourselves is that, people will become disillusioned, okay? What will happen is that, as more and more changes happen, people will realize that our body is temporary, our mind, our thought forms are temporary, and even the world is temporary. So, people who are in the path of service to others, they will begin to, let go of, any kind of hope in the outside world, and they will feel, less attached to the outside world. That will happen, and what will happen is that they will begin to, understand that everything is temporary. So they will also let go of sensual desires. If they have any sensual desires for pleasures, for eating something pleasurable, or for some kind of activity which stimulates the body, they will let go of that as well, because they will realize it's just an illusion. And the opposite will happen to people who are in the path of service to self. They'll become more attached, and since they will not be able to control the world, they will develop anger, because not being able to control the outside world as it is changing will lead them to feel anger. So that's what I learned. Also, there will be a final sign which they stated was that the solar flash event will signal the final point of either fourth density or negative fourth density. Okay, so that's what I learned in the session. Also about the Vyonich manuscript, what I found interesting was that it was actually a type of message left by the Confederation of Planets, and this message actually is for people to awaken spiritually. So that's what I learned in the session, and only like highly advanced souls will be able to understand the message. So that's what I learned in the session. Also, I want to say a big thank you to all of you for downloading the transcripts of my sessions, which you can find. The link is on the description. Also, thank you for subscribing to the channel. It helps us a lot. And with that being said, I will see you, my friends, in the next session. Until then, enjoy this session over here.